Wolfpack, and welcome to the Robin Hood Capitalist. I'm your host, DJ Flores. Unfortunately, with me is no coach today, but besides that, I am excited. And so, Coach, prayers obviously to. I know. I don't think it's anything major, but he is at an appointment with his dad, one of our loyal viewers. So we're missing you in attendance today, Daddy Bards, and Coach, we're missing you today. And I know Jeraud was pretty disappointed, but I'm really just excited to bring on our guest this week. When we met, we had met through again networking. Like you all might start to connect those things that I talk about a lot. But we had met through networking, and it's funny we're both very similar with networking. He's a little bit more kind of he'll stay and keep to the back, but just an amazing dude. When we met. Um, he we connected because I had my Zig Ziglar planner that I've showed quite a few times here on the show, and we talked mindset. Honestly, I don't even think we talked about business at all. What either of us did. I think we just talked mindset. Maybe we talked to kids a little bit. But just an amazing dude. What he has is the foundation to my 25 years of being in sales and entrepreneurship and this just crazy journey of business that I've been in. Um, what I've realized is a few things, and I was blessed to kind of start with the foundation of Best Buy and H Gregg. So shout out to you guys, man. H Gregg no longer exists, but Best Buy still trying to kick it and hang on, Best Buy. I have hope for you. Hopefully Amazon doesn't. Hopefully something happens there. But anyways, so Best Buy though the systems that they teach there was no commission, so I didn't get the dirty word that I got addicted to quite young. Being in cellular, I was introduced to that through Sprint. But at Best Buy, what I learned was their systems, and they had a stack ranking, and the way that they really promoted that within and the competitiveness of it, but the fun nature of it, I carried that through me for a long time. And then just the systems of how they do things. And through 25 years of being with over 50 different companies, and yeah, I'm not exaggerating that. There's probably more. But I've worked with over 50 different companies, learning their systems, their trainings, their processes. I've seen so many different CRMs. I've seen the big ones that most of the big corporate monsters use and that are touted from the rooftops that a lot of smaller companies fall trap to. And I really do think they fall trap to that because they hear about it, but they don't know what else is out there. And what Jeraud has with master marketing systems, y'all, it's everything in that and more. And it really allows you, like he says, to turn strangers into customers. And it's the foundation that I think I've talked to so many business owners, even in the position I'm currently in with division director for Safe and Sound. I've talked to founders and inventors of products and business owners there that I've said, what CRM are you using by chance? And they're like, CRM, what's a CRM? I'm like, oh no. So if you have no clue what a CRM is, you are in for a treat. But it literally is the roadmap. It's if you have a goal, if you started a business, shout out to a lot of our founders and inventors on Safe and Sound. They started it out of a necessity, out of a passion, out of a purpose, which I think is probably me and Jeraud will get into as well because he's big on mindset, like I talked about. But um, it's they founded their business out of a necessity, out of a need for caregiving, and so a lot of their products are pretty unique. But so that's the reason you might not know about a CRM. And so this is the roadmap. This is the foundation. This is like the starting system that most good franchises will at least hand off to their new franchisees who might be a first business owner, a startup, or whatever that might be. But if you are feeling like you're struggling, you're feeling like you're having multiple hats and you don't know what to do, you're feeling like you're paying for marketing, but you're wondering where the money is going or what is happening to your leads, this might be your answer. So I'm going to start with this because Jeraud, of course, I researched everybody. Jeraud has an amazing. Jeraud Norman is our guest. I'll put that up there if y'all didn't see from the post this leading up to this. But Jeraud Norman, the founder of Jeraud Marketing Group and Master Marketing Systems. But I'm going to start with his about me from LinkedIn, and so connect with him on LinkedIn if you're not. But what we do, turn strangers into customers. It isn't just a tagline; it's a craft perfected. Sorry. Leveraging cutting edge AI and automation, we obliterate the speed to lead conundrum while showing you how to deploy paid ads that are not only precise but magnetic on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you feel like you're not connecting with your audience, be sure and watch this, y'all.
You get one heartbeat song. Take it seriously. This is your masterpiece. Don't forget to dream and taste the colors in the air you breathe. It's your masterpiece. Go ahead and feel it all. Don't stop till it is beautiful. Don't stop till it is beautiful. Don't stop till it is beautiful.
That's right, y'all. Don't stop till it's beautiful. Can't wait for y'all to meet my guest, the founder of Jeraud Marketing Group, turning strangers into customers, and create your bulletproof mindset. Jeraud, I don't know if this is your picture or not. If it's not, take it. It's yours. But dude, I can't wait to talk mindset. I can't wait. Jeraud, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for joining me.
I appreciate it, man. I was sitting back there. I was like, man, this dude is awesome. So the same way you feel about me, I feel about you. So I'm glad that we met. And I meet a lot of people, but you don't always connect with everyone. I know everyone says that, but I'm here with you. I connected with you. I got to meet Coach. Coach is awesome. Hope everything's well with his dad, but I appreciate the introduction and you having me on here, man. It means a lot.
Oh, dude, thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy with fam. I know you handed off the baby. So listen, we're real here. It's real. So if the kids come in, anything goes on, don't worry. Again, this is not staged. I don't like the perfect. We don't need perfect. But let's give everybody in the audience a little bit. Who is Jeraud? Like, give them your background. Give them where you started, how Jeraud Marketing started, and just start there.
Who is Jeraud? I like to say first thing that's really important to me is my family. So being a husband and a father, that's excuse me, that's most important to me. Like today, I had the opportunity to hang out with my daughter all day, and the only thing I didn't cancel on my calendar, we had some family stuff going on, was this call, and my wife's helping take care of my daughter today. But we went to the park, we went to the library, then I was hanging out with my son. So that's what's most important to me, is spending time with the people I love the most. And everything I do is to, it's to help others, but it's to make sure that I'm doing the things that I say that I want to do, which is spending time with them. Because sometimes you could easily be like, I want to spend more time with my family, but you do everything to not spend more time with your family. You don't realize it. So no, I'm really serious about that. So that's first and foremost. And I feel like I'd like to lead with that, because if someone resonates with it, then we can, kind of like how you and I resonated with each other, and it's cool, and it's not fake, it's not phony, it's
absolutely.
So that's first and foremost. And then after that, man, I just a guy who knows how to make people money.
so tell the story though. You got to share the story. I mean, you started this, but I mean, how did you start this? You're starting with the first getting into the marketing gig. Like what started that?
All right. So if we go back, I got to get better at cinematically telling this story. So
that's okay.
I used to work at shipbuilding. So for people who live in Virginia, you guys know about that. If you don't, but essentially it's where all the aircraft carriers and submarines are built for the country. I used to work there. I was an apprentice. I rose through the ranks of the apprentice school program, made supervisor, Turns out I didn't do well at politics. I thought doing your job well was all you really needed to do. And I just kept having people tell me, say, hey, man, you need to play the game. I was like, I ain't playing no daggone game. Turns out that there was a game to be played and I just wouldn't play it. And it got to the point it got really bad. So I left Newport News going to Norfolk Naval, which is the government-owned shipyard, thinking it would be better, but it was actually worse. Working, no offense to anyone who's up here, but working in the government is not as all it's cracked up to be. A lot of people are there just to get their check. They don't want to do their job. And it just made me sick. Integrity is one of my number one things. And that's how DJ and I connected. And just the integrity in what they were doing compared to what I learned when I worked at Newport News Shipbuilding was like night and day. And it actually physically affected me. And it was weird because I didn't think I cared that much, but I obviously did. And I remember walking outside one day and, I guess I could say this up here because I wanted to choke people. I was at a point I was just like, man, I want to choke people.
Yeah.
And then I walked outside one day and I just looked up and I was like, I can't do this forever. And I don't remember how long from that moment, but I don't think it was but a few weeks after that. My son was 2 years old. It was actually on my oldest son's birthday. It was May 15th, 2012. I dropped him off at the before care thing. Then I was taking my 2-year-old son to daycare / school. And its 18-wheeler truck came off the highway in Hampton, Virginia and hit us and almost flipped my truck over. And that was like a big turning point in my life because there's plenty of turning points, but you don't remember them all. I remember that one. Truck went up like this. You ever seen that movie? What was it? Twins. It was back in the day when we were kids.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he came around the corner at the Ferrari on the 2 wheels. My truck was in the air like that. And then I got it back down. And then, I ended up going to work that day. And I felt like a horrible parent because I was like, I took my son to school like nothing happened. And then I went to work. And so after being at work for an hour, it just didn't sit well with me. So I left. Turns out he was fine. Bunch of stuff going on with me. Ended up having a back surgery, a hip surgery, and I still kind of deal with some of those injuries to this day. I think a lot of it was because when that happened, I ended up couldn't go to work, so I didn't have a job, I didn't have disability in place, so ended up losing my house, bankruptcy, foreclosure, all these things. So I think the stress of being in survival mode didn't allow me to fully take care of myself the way I needed to in the beginning. And so I think that's part of the reason I still somewhat have pain. I got all these practitioners and stuff, but went through all that. And then the first thing I ran into was real estate investing. And I remember I had my surgery December of 2019 and I was on crutches and I was officially out of work because I kept going to work till November. And the doctor was like, if you keep going, something's going to happen. It was to the point where my walk had changed. My whole labrum was torn. I couldn't walk straight. And then I went to, what are those guys called? It's like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it was another set of guys who was on A&E. They had one of those conferences they shout out about on the radio. And I went and I was on crutches and I was like, I'm not going back to work. And that was the first time I was introduced to marketing. And
really,
even I'd say even a lot more personal development type stuff. Because some of the videos they were showing us in there, I guess it was to push us over the edge just to spend 25 grand. Yeah. I was like, man, I didn't know stuff like this was out there you can watch, breathe as bad as you want to succeed, or however that term goes, and videos like that. So
Les Brown. That's Les Brown's story. Oh my god. Or no, that's Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas. Yeah, yes. ET. He tells that story. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It just sat with me, man. I watched that video every day for like years and then I realized that I was what he said. I mean, I want to succeed as bad as I want to breathe. And you don't think about breathing. I don't think about being successful. Do we stumble? Do we make mistakes? Of course. But are you going to quit? Are you going to go? Sometimes you have to take a step back, but quitting versus taking a step back or even failure is two different things. So that's where I first learned about marketing and the importance of it was sitting in those conferences. And I didn't have enough money for the 25K. I didn't understand financing. I just lost my job. I just wasn't financially smart about a lot of things. And I'm still learning finances. Like it's an ongoing thing, right? And this guy picked me up and was like, hey, I see you at all the meetings. I seen you at the big thing. I got 25K. Just come join me and just do the marketing. I'm like, I don't do marketing. I'm a shipyard worker. Right? So I started studying that. And he gave me access to everything he had in the 25K program. It just wasn't moving fast enough. Like I said, we just lost our house. And so then I got network marketing. I thought that was going to solve my problems and hustled hard in that too. And then I met some guys who were really good at internet marketing. And that's when I really decided to take it serious. And I was like, you know what? maybe I don't do this for network marketing anymore. Maybe, and then I remember I was on the way to this guy's office and I was like, and I started looking at every business and I was like, they all need customers. So if I figure this out, then everyone can be a customer. And it just, a light bulb went off. And I decided to go all in on it. I realized later on that I don't want everybody as a customer, but when you're first starting out, you just, you just push it out there like that because, everybody's not a fit and you got to be okay with that. And you
Oh,
want to,
absolutely. You have to. I mean, Lee. So Lee gave you a shout out, and Lee, thank you so much for joining us. And Jeraud is the man. So
oh, thank you, Lee. Lee is the man.
Lee is the man too. So Lee was on, and I was going to give him a shout out, but to what you said, he oh God, I lost my point. But it was something he had mentioned that was exactly what you had just talked about. And yeah, so shout out to Lee. But yeah, Jeraud. So that story. So now, when did you then, in that point, go all in and decide to sell your car to take the first course?
Oh yeah, so I guess that's where we're at. The network marketing thing happened. Then I'd had the light bulb because network marketing, I felt like I outworked everyone, and everybody would say that. They say it was like a worldwide company, and a lot of them are. He's like, hey, you're the hardest working guy around the world. And I'm like, well, my money doesn't say so. Like, I don't want to be the hardest working guy. It's not making money. And then everybody's telling me that, and that helped me get where I want to go. And then I just, and then one guy who was higher up in the company is like, man, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm tired of seeing you work like this. The system's broke. And it does work because people are making money, but not the way that you need it to. And then that's when I was like, you know what? If I go all in on marketing, I'll be good. So this was 2014. Yeah, 2014. No. It was 2016. So yeah, 2016, I finally gave up on the network marketing thing. I had made some money, but not enough to really do what I needed to do. And
I messed with some of those too. And
yeah, I mean, it's in all honesty, you can make money in the business. I think if anything, me being when you're in survival mode, man, it could help you and it can hinder you at the same, especially if you're going into something you don't know. And if you don't have the right coaching. And I think that was a big thing for me because I was like, there was guys that were helping me. And at the same time, if I needed them on call, they wouldn't be there all the time, but they would, but when they were there, it was helpful. And I wasn't upset with them, but it was frustrating because it's like, I just want to be able to pay someone that's going to show up and be there when I need them. And I can't expect them to do that because I'm not paying them. So 2016 is when I finally decided I was just going to go all in on marketing and just do that alone. And I saw a guy show up in my news feed and he was talking the same thing I had just envisioned. And he had a program. It was like $2,500 to join his program. And I sold my card to join the program so I can learn marketing. And that was one of the best investments I ever made was to sell that car. Figured out how to get the kids around. I mean, I figured all that stuff out. And my personal goal was to make $10,000 a month within 90 days or 100. It was 12 weeks to a 10K agency. So how many days is 12 weeks? I don't know. 84 days. So about 90 days. Yeah. Goal was to make $10,000 a month within 90 days. Cause when you're starting your own business, 10,000 is a good first benchmark for everyone. And obviously in order to do that, I had to help people make money in order to do it. And I didn't hit that goal in the first 90 days, but I ended up hitting that goal within the first 4.5, 5 months. I crossed the $10,000 a month mark, started making my clients a bunch of money. And then here we are. That was in 2016. 2016, I sold the car. 2017, I started the program. And then now it's 2024. And we've helped our clients generate over 50 million. I need to keep counting, but over $50 million with paid advertising. Right? So that's where we're at now. And it's really humbling to work with people and be able to have the ability and the knowledge to be able to help them. Invested a lot of time, money, and energy into myself in order to do that. And, I haven't made 50 million for myself and, but the goal is when you're in marketing or any type of business is to help people make more money than what it costs you. So in order for me to get to that number, which I'm not saying that's my number one goal right now, but I would need to help put up at least 150, 200 minimum for my clients in order to even have a chance at making that kind of money for myself. So with me, it's always about how do I help people get where they want to go? Like Zig Ziglar, that's why we met. Get people where they want to go and you'll get where you want to go. There's nothing wrong with having your own numbers. And people might hear me say 50 million and think, well, damn, that's a big number. I mean, it's crazy to even think about, but I think that
crazy.
anybody's capable of getting any number that they want if they put in the work and they find the people who have gotten there and can show them how to do it. And that's what I continually do. I invest in coaching. So give a coach. That's
And
a plug for coach.
yes, that was a plug for coach, but and I do want you to plug your other coach too, because I know you still he was the one who got you into the game, right? Into marketing. That was the first guy, the
Oh
program.
yeah, definitely. Shout out all day to my guy Billy Jean and the Billy Jean's
Yeah,
marketing.
Billy Dean. There you go.
Yeah. So I saw it. That was the ad I saw. I never watch ads, and I saw his ad. And you'd be honest, he looked like me. There's not a lot of guys in marketing that were doing well that looked like me, and were actually getting results. And I saw him, and I just, everybody doesn't like his style, but I liked it, and it was for the face value and for different reasons that other people may or may not understand. And he's legit, man. And I'm super grateful for him. But it's not even just him, and he'll tell you it's his team. His team, man. I've learned 90% of what I learned in order to get these results was working with them. And then eventually over time, I had to get my own real world results and I learned on the job. But if I hadn't had that training and sold my car to be a part of that community, and I see my guy Chris Braden here, he's an OG from the community. Shout out to my chief.
Yeah, I'll throw him up there.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that and his team putting themselves out there and the level of support that they give, I would have had to learn it somewhere else. I feel like I would get where I need to go regardless, but it helps when you have good people and good systems that you can work with. And then to have a good community and have people like Chris and some of the other folks I've met. I got more friends now in my later age than I did when I was younger, because I found a group of people that I actually like. Because I guess you can say this. I think I say it all the time. It's like I don't dislike people, but I don't really like everyone. So to find a group of people where I really like people, it was so weird and it was so humbling and it was just the right place to be. So shout out to Billy.
I'll feel you there. I'll throw Chris back up, and then there's a few other comments I'll throw up, and then we'll get into some more stuff. But yeah, so shout out Chris. Props to you guys. Good stuff, man. And then there was again Lee. I did remember Lee. So Lee, you're welcome. But yeah, Lee. It was about hiring and firing customers. And you talked about not every customer being yours. I think most businesses need to realize that already. Like non-negotiable. So that's I think you're a Mosey guy too, but Alex Ramosey's non-negotiables. When he talked that, and I was like, okay, I love this. I'm taking that. So I stole his first two. So it's impeccable character and then sincere candor. But then I took Tom Bilyeu's. I actually got a video of Tom Bilyeu that we might go to. But
like
Tom Bilyeu's grand ambition, because I'm crazy. Like I got crazy ideas. So I know, like if you don't, if you don't believe that, we're not gonna work.
And I'll say this too. Another non-negotiable that I judge heavily on is, like I told you, I'm all about my family. So if I start, we set expectations. If there's an emergency, sometimes you have to teach your clients what an actual emergency is, because everything that they think is an emergency isn't. And if that's what they think and they're not willing to meet you halfway, then they're not for you. But if someone is consistently violating my time with my family when I have systems in place, because I have a team, I got all this stuff. If I got system in place to help you and and I tell you that my daughter and my son's my most important thing, but you're consistently looking to violate that time, then it's not worth the money, because it's just going to upset me. And if I'm upset, then it ruins my time with my kids, and it's just a non-negotiable.
I think we might go deep on this show, but I'm going to throw Stephanie Dignan. Thanks for joining us. She said she's joining us. So good afternoon, Jeraud. Listening old school style at the desktop.
My girl, Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She works in the rent-to-own industry. She's a rock star. She's out of Illinois, and been working with her and some of her franchise, I don't know, I guess fellow dealers, as we call them, for the last few years. So she's a sweetheart. Thanks for joining, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephanie. And Chris came back with Jeraud, it's only because you're awesome. I agree, Chris.
You're awesome, man.
I agree, Chris. Jeraud, you are awesome, dude. And again, the thing we connected on, neither of us are self-promoters. So I told you I'm gonna help you with that. You need to promote yourself today, and really, you are awesome. And what you're doing, being able to connect those dots. First off, take the risk, which a lot of people are afraid to take that risk, and you did. You seen. You knew you were trapped, and your story, what resonated, and it was crazy. because your story resonated so much with me, because you shared about, you got stuck, and you felt like, I didn't want this anymore, like you shared in your story. And that's how I end these shows all the time, is if you get this feeling on Sunday of always, I want to be sick on Monday, like, no, I don't want to do this again. Or like you're just always looking for an excuse not to do work on Monday, like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And I think that ties a lot to where you got that feeling of, hey, I'm not doing this forever. And so I'm glad you took the chance and went into marketing, and went to one of those mindset things.
Well, I would say this: the universe has a funny way of aligning things, because, in all honesty, it would be. I did start little side hustles out of the shipyard. Like, I had plenty of side hustles out of the shipyard, and sometimes I would make more money in a day with the side hustle than I would at the job, and I'd be more excited to go to work I would still take care of my responsibilities. But especially once the politics got involved, because before I left Newport News, I got demoted behind politics. I'll just be honest; those people who were doing the job that I was doing when they demoted me, they weren't better at doing the job because they didn't have the training, and they just really didn't care. And I did. So that really set me back. But if it wasn't for that, who wants to get hit by a freaking truck? It could have been way worse than what it was, right? Like, I mean, I got off light considering
thank God.
And bankruptcy and all that stuff, compared to not being here, or my son being hurt. But if it wasn't for that, I'm not saying I never would have left, because I think I would have, but I could easily still be there. Like, I rode by the shipyard today to take my daughter to the library, and I was just like, dang, like that crazy Jordan Bridge. I'm like, I'm never riding over that again. And I don't have to. I don't got to go over there. So if you really put out there what you really want and you focus on it, it'll come to you. I mean, obviously there's signs that come to you, and there's just things that come your way, and you just have to act in accordance with what you think what you want. And sometimes it can happen overnight, but I think an overnight success is really like, what's that, 365 days times 7, about 21,000 or so days is overnight success for the most part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You nailed it. That's so funny, dude. We're like on the same wavelength right now, because literally one of my posts, it will actually be my post tomorrow. So you kind of sneaked into my post for tomorrow, but I actually have this. It says overnight success, and then it's all the stuff that it actually took to take it into this pot of overnight success, because there is no overnight success. I mean, it's a lot of, again, it's skill sets, it's skills, it's mindset, it's a lot of intentional things. All goals have roadmaps, and I guess maybe I'll share since we're talking this stuff, I'll share the Tom Bilyeu video that I was going to get into, but it talks about goals, and I'll kind of jump ahead and then share the video so we can go back to it, and we'll talk about this, Jeraud, because I think you'll like it.
Okay.
But so he ends with goals, and he goes into the story. This is one of my favorite stories about, he says, all goals, if I said I wanted to be the best basketball player, well, who's the best basketball player? And at the time he did this keynote was in 1997. So it was Kobe Bryant he's talking about. And he says, if I want to be Kobe Bryant, I have to. Now, at that time, he didn't know his training program, but I do. He got up earlier so he could work out 3 times while everybody was, or practice 3 times while everybody was practicing 2, because there's repetition, there's a purpose, there is steps that are needed. But he gets into this, and let's talk about this. I can't wait.
You think you're clear on what your goal is. You really believe it, but you're not clear. Step number 1 is get clarity. And I hear a version of this all the time. Tom, I already know what I want. In fact, maybe you already have a business. Your business is already doing great. You're making $10 million a year. You're fucking killing it. But you can't figure out why you can't get to the next level. And I will tell you it's one of 2 things. Either you're not clear enough, or you're not running the physics of progress, which is just a loop. So here's what people will say when they think they have clarity. I want to win a gold medal, Tom. That's amazing. In what? The Olympics? Yes, Tom, the Olympics. Fantastic. Summer or winter? Summer. My man. Swimming or tennis? Swimming. Fantastic. Backstroke? Freestyle medley? What are we doing? Until you have so much clarity, this is another one, burn into your soul. Until you have so much clarity that you know what to do with the next 15 minutes, you're lost. If the next 15 minutes isn't self-evident to you, you're lost. So whenever you're like, I'm not sure what the next move is, it's because you don't have enough clarity. Goals.
That's crazy. I was listening to that and I was just like, I need to get even more clarity on what I'm doing.
Isn't it? I found that video and I still have it, still had it. Part of my daily routine is to listen to motivational stuff or listen to things, and that just happened to be on the list to go back to. So I was listening to it throughout the day, and I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, I need to go a little bit. But that's been my journey, and that's where it's really just being very intentional. You have to be super intentional, and I think you, although you might beat yourself up because you're probably like me, and perfection is always trying to attain but never attainable. But literally, it's when you know that you're purposely doing everything that you're doing for time, when you're that clear that your importance is time. And that's where I wanted to kind of go with that first with this video, but then want to get into clarity, because I think there's a lot of companies that might be watching this or might even be saying that story, like, okay, why I have this product, I did this, I did that, why can't I? Where is this? Where am I? Well, it might be a CRM. Do you have a CRM? Do you have systems? Do you have a system at all, or processes? But before that, it's time. I think you're very observant, and you mentioned your most important thing is family. And I think there's another video. I wasn't planning on going this deep on this, but maybe I'll show this video. And you just triggered this, so we'll go with it. But we'll go here.
In psychology, you're not going to make it. There's so many elements to this game. When somebody asks, like, have you ever asked yourself this question? What is money? Like, what is money? Oh my God, somebody actually knows the answer, or they're real close. I want you to shout that shit out. It's the ability to get energy secured across time and space. So you go do something really hard, you need a way to store the value of that time and energy, and that thing we call money.
That's dope.
That's it, money. And I think you've figured that game out. So that's why time is more important to you, because once you figure that game out, then you realize that it's just what can you help people with. And so you figured out the skill of marketing to help people make money. In turn, like you said, you make money. But
exchange. It's, yeah. Because even when I started, I was like, I got to help people make money so I can make money. And I'm fine with that. I know every service you have, there isn't any, I guess, the end result. Like if we take Lee, for instance, when he comes in here and cleans somebody's house, which he does an amazing job, there's a feeling that comes with that. And that's the exchange that he gets in order for money. And for me, I felt like that would have been a lot for me to get into, seeing how I didn't understand how to get money, I'd say credit and all that stuff. But the marketing thing that kept showing up, it was just like, oh, I just pull a few strings. I mean, it's more than that, right? But yeah, I help people make money than I make money. That's fair, because I'd rather it be on me than somebody else. And I don't like doing something for somebody and not getting a result. Now, I mean, if I'm being honest, have we won with every single campaign that we've ever done? No. Have we won with the majority of them? I would say I would err on the side of it. 90% plus we've had success with. And the ones that we didn't, I would honestly say it was either I picked the wrong client and nothing would satisfy them, or I picked the wrong client and they wouldn't do the work that we needed them to do, or we weren't getting the results and we ran out of time. Because let's say that if I sign you up and, granted, I'm not doing it this way anymore, but if I say, hey, give me 3 months, and in month 1, you're jumping ship because you don't see results, that goes against me as a mark that I didn't get results, but I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough time. We didn't stick to the script. So, and then there's stuff internally that we're learning and we always can do better at. So it's not even always on the client, but I feel like the only way I don't win is if the time runs out. As long as there's time on the clock, I'm going for it. And I hate losing. I hate losing. So
I hear you. I hear you there. And I'm going to go to Lee. Lee's talking time. We're talking the importance of time, and really, time is our most valuable asset. Like, that is where I connected the dots of this game of life. I call life a game. It is a game,
yeah.
and so when you figure out the game, and most people, and the longest time, like most people on this journey, chase money until there's a certain point. Jim Carrey has one of my favorite quotes: I wish people would get everything they want so that they can realize that money and things aren't what they actually want or need. But everybody ends up in that journey because they realize that money is options, but it's also stored energy of other people. It's really what it is, if you want to boil it down. And so the goal is money, so you can use it, your time, how you want to use it. Now, with your system, how powerful is it in freeing up their time? Because again, you really have to reach out. You have to experience the system, the automation, the AI. It's like having a back office that is a bunch of minions kind of doing the work for you. And they never need a day off. They don't need a break. I mean, Jeraud, you painted that picture so well in your presentation of it. But I mean, get into that if you could.
I appreciate it. So I'll get into that, but just a precursor into that, and this is kind of like what I was doing in the presentation DJ was at, is because I know for this, we're talking about turning strangers into customers using paid ads. And, hopefully I've demonstrated that, we can do that, right? I can show you how to do that. That's not hard. If we break it down in a few things, your ads either not getting enough traction, or your ads getting traction and you're not capturing enough information, or you're capturing information and you're not getting the sale or getting to the appointment, and we focus there. But the reason why, like DJ is bringing up the system, is because without the system, it makes it hard for the ads to work the way they need to work, because then we're relying all on human error. Right. I mean, not relying on human error. That was the wrong thing. But we're taking a chance with human error because, like I said, can automation break? Can AI not work sometimes? Sure. But the likelihood that it's going to deliver is so much higher than, like, let's say if a lead came in right now for my business, my people are off. I'm here with you guys. I'm not about to check my phone. My AI will pick it up. My automation will pick it up. And that's what we call speed to lead. And even if we didn't spend any more money on advertising right now, if you just put systems in place that allowed you to get to the conversation faster, because you can't really get a sale without conversation. Now, granted, there's e-commerce and people will go online, but majority of people don't. Their business isn't there where they're going to get an overwhelming amount of people to just go online and buy their stuff, especially if you're a small business, right? Like, if you want an iPhone, I mean, you just need the money. You're going to go buy it. You want some
or home service. If you have a service or a product,
yeah. So it's like, if you need it, you're going to get it. But to an extent, like most people, even those guys, like even the people who have services that are doing real well, if they don't, and I remember speaking to Lee, and I was going to help him with that stuff, but he's a rock star. He already got it set up. But there's so many businesses that don't have it set up. So there's not a lot of people like Lee that are already out there. But
I agree with that.
He's a G. So it didn't surprise me. I was just like, well, damn, Lee, I ain't got nothing for you, man. Just if you need help, or if you want to run something by me, I'm here for you. But I'd say 90% of the businesses don't. And what happens is, like I said, if you don't spend any more money on ads right now and the lead came in and you were too busy or you missed it, is someone or something responding to them to let them know that you got the inquiry? Because since I've been on this call, I could see my phone at the corner of my screen. I had to flip it over because it's lighting up. As long as it's not my daughter or my son, I'm not jetting out of here, right? So people have that going on. I just filled out a form. I gave you my information, and all of a sudden I'm in the, I'm on social media again. I'm here, I'm there. My wife's, whatever it is, and they forgot they even gave you the information, which is the weirdest thing to me. But that's just that's just what people do. So if you don't respond to them right away, there's a good chance you won't start that conversation. And if you don't start that conversation, you really can't get them to a sale. And then you wonder why you're not making more money, is because the back end system is broke. So before I show you how to turn on ads, and we can get into some of that stuff too. Like, I love that stuff, right? But before I show you how to do all that, if you don't have the system to catch them, we like to call it the leaky bucket. this will be the bucket for today. But if there's holes in this water ain't gonna stay in here. And right now there's holes all in everybody's system except for Lee's. I know for a fact Lee don't got holes in his system. And if they do, they're so minute, it will not sink his boat. And he's such a gangster that he's gonna find those and he's gonna plug them up quick. But again, that's a small I mean, we've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of business owners, and the amount of people who have those things set up is so small compared to the people that do. And that's why we changed our focus to focusing on the system. Let's plug the bucket. Let's make sure it's set up. Let's hold the water. You get more money. And then I've built your trust. Now I can say, hey, if the ads don't work in month one, which, you know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, then I've already helped build you some trust and make you some money just by plugging your leaks, that now we have a good rapport. You believe in the system a little bit more and you'll give it a little bit more leeway, versus we go straight in the ads and, you know, you're like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work. You're all nervous. Now let's make you some money with what you already got in place right now. And that's what the system does. It follows up within 60 seconds. If you want AI, we can add AI in there. Like if someone were to text, what is my number? Can I do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is a perfect shit. If you text my number, and I think I know it by heart, it's 800 number. It's 833-619-0767. If you text waitlist to that number, right, it's going to be based on my presentation that I did. But if you text that, my AI will pick it up and it will try to have a conversation with you. And she's going to try her damnedest to get you on my schedule. Now, I'm not saying you got to schedule. If you really don't have anything, I would prefer you not to leave it open for other people. But if you want to talk about some of this stuff, sure, book a schedule. But if everybody on this call did this right now, she can handle all those conversations simultaneously and respond within minutes, if not right away. And so that allows me to feel like no matter what's going on, I have someone that's working for me in the background. And plus I have VAs and I have project managers and stuff like that. We're a pretty small team, but the system does most of the heavy lifting. So does that help?
Oh yeah. No, that was money. And it really is powerful, guys. Like the power that's in that. Again, I learned kind of starting in retail. So I started in retail with cellular and that. And you know, the whole making eye contact with a customer walking in, hey, I'll be with you shortly, at least gives you some more time. And that's, I think, what most people aren't realizing today. I mean, they talk about it all the time. We're in a microwave society. People want stuff now. Like when you could go on and order Amazon and it might even be delivered that day, or Uber Eats or anything. I mean, you get everything delivered at touching a screen. That's how quick. That's how long you have to have somebody's attention or have their moments. And then, like you said, life gets in the way. Then it's now they got a notification and they're not even thinking of marketing anymore. They're thinking of something else. And so, like,
I would say this, like, I think the problem is most people, because like you said, Amazon and Uber Eats, they're huge businesses, right? And even though you're not competing with them, you're competing. Everybody's competing for the same attention, right?
Exactly.
So they have a better chance of getting attention than you because they're become household things. So it's like you have to remember that you're competing against the same attention as them, whether it's, like you said, your phone rings, whether it's ordering something. Like I don't post much on social media, but I posted a picture of my daughter. And, you know, I put a picture in the timeline. You're going to forget why you reached out to me. You're going to be looking at her. Oh, she's so cute. So, and then you got other babies out there. You got cats, you got dogs, you got whatever you're into, whether it's positive or negative, it's constantly showing up in your news feed. And then and when I talk to business owners, they're like, well, yeah, I called them the next day, or I called them a few days later. And I'm like, man, like, that's not what
you're an afterthought. You're a thought. Like, and in most situations, that's the case. And not until, and that's what always confused me about sales. I've over 25 years of sales. Like most people think like there's some magic word, there's some magic you can beat people down. I've worked for companies that, you either got to get kicked out. Like, no, like this isn't back in the old days when information was very limited to people and they believed everything that everybody said. Now you can't. You say something there. Grant Cardone said it best in his book. Sell or be sold. They can just look it up, and they're going to Google and see a billion different ideas or opinions or thoughts, and they don't even know what to believe anymore. And so like, that's the world we live in now. It's not, you can't control people. And so it's all about, Gary Vee nails it with attention. And so that's what I love about your system is it's you can be purposefully, intentively kind of in their, keeping their attention and dripping along. So a lot of small business owners, guys, I want you to get into the importance of workflows. I know it used to be campaigns and funnels, and now it's just workflows. But if you could get into the importance of that and how that can really help, that again, just Gary Vee is writing a book. I don't know if it's out yet, but day trading attention. That's the name of the game now. Like you nailed it, Jeraud. With everybody, Amazon is competing for the same person's attention that you and I and everybody is competing for. And everybody, no matter who they are, from Elon Musk to Bill Gates to anybody, has the same 24 hours. So everybody has the same amount of attention and can only focus on so much. But if you could get into that and how it can really help to kind of drip those important messages and how you can strategically do that.
Yeah, for sure. So like, for instance, Steph was up here. I don't know if she's still here, but like we have automation set up in the type of business she's in. I'll use hers for as an example where, I'm coaching a franchise that she works with on how to run Facebook ads. Some people knew how to do them, but for the most part, a lot of people started from scratch and now to the point where they're comfortable going in and running their own ads. So when a Facebook lead comes in, the automation first thing is just, hey, first of all, we ask them what they're interested in the lead form. So if someone says they want a sofa, the link that they get in a text message that comes right away within 60 seconds is, hey, you said you were interested in a sofa. Here's the link to our website. The importance of getting their information first is because if they go to the website and they don't enter it, then you just had a website visitor and you don't know who that person was.
You got to click.
Now you got their information and you give them what they want. And if they don't follow through, you follow up. So the first message is to go out to get them the information they're looking for. Or before we used to say, hey, we know you're interested in this. What color do you want? We'll send you some pics. And then as soon as they start having the conversation, I would say a good percentage of the time, if they respond to those automations, you're in a position to close the sale. Now, granted, if you don't have what they want or if the price isn't right, you run into those things. But the whole thing is that without the conversation, you never get there. And that's a huge gap that people aren't focusing on. So I like to call it contact rate.
Yeah.
If we'll just keep the number small. If you got 10 leads, but you only spoke to 2 of them, that's a 20% contact rate. But whenever I talk to most business owners, I'm like, you got 10 leads. I'm like, well, we got one, let's say they got one sale out of it. I'm like, cool. Well, how many did you talk to? I don't know. And I'm like, well, you kind of need to know that because your close percentage overall is technically 10% if you closed one, right? But if you talked to only 2 of them, then technically your close rate is 50.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, your closing is not the issue. It's getting a hold of more of them. Now, granted, if you got hold of all 10, would you still maintain that 50%? We'll see, right? But you can't add it to the close ratio if you haven't talked to them. And for the most part, if you can keep your contact rate high, then your numbers will play out. Like in the rent-to-own industry, I would say on average, they're closing, I would say 50% of the people they talk to, they can close, right? Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. The thing that feeds the whole thing is how many of those leads that came through on Facebook did we actually have a conversation with? And if you haven't had a conversation with them, then odds go down. If you don't respond to someone within 60 seconds, odds go down. If you wait 5 minutes, they go down. If you're talking a day or more, I think the numbers from Harvard or something like that is if you wait over a day, it's 600 times harder to get, or 60 times harder, to get a hold of a person. So when someone tells me the leads are bad, I'm like, well, bro, when did you hit them up? Oh, I waited till the next day or two. Like, did you hit them up 60 times? No, well, that's crazy. I'm like, well, it's crazy that you waited a day. Hit them up 60 times and then let me know. Right now, the automation will be a part of that 60. And at the same time, like automation doesn't take away from you picking up the phone and calling someone. That is the best. Right. And then sometimes when a lead comes in, they want to do things through text. That's why the text comes right away. But if the text don't work, you still have to do sales. And sometimes people just think the marketing is just going to fix their sales. It's 2 separate functions. I would say our most successful clients that we worked with, they sold courses. So they never need to get on the phone to sell anything. We would just
Yeah,
sell them tens of millions of dollars worth of courses, and they never had to pay on the phone. We just sent them a thing every week and say, hey, we spent this much, you made this much. This is a 10x ROI this week or 3x this week. And they're like, cool. And I'm like, man, I need to get on that business because and eliminating sales calls. But that's the holy grail of marketing, and everyone doesn't have that setup. You either don't have that setup because you don't have the brand, or you just don't have the product that warrants you to be able to do that. So you got to have something in place. And it can't be all right to not, you're spending money on these leads, right? Or you're spending money on this marketing.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're not, let's say you're not spending money on Facebook, like I'm spending money on Facebook right now, your time and energy of going to these networking events and going here and going there and getting introductions, all that is, I can't even repeat how Tom said it, but it's energy, right?
Yeah,
so if you let that energy go to waste because you don't follow up fast, then those are holes in the bucket, And then if we start to expand that, we're talking, maybe you get Instagram DMs. Now I know Facebook has been crazy with this whole spam thing lately. Yeah. So, but maybe you get a real Instagram DM, a real Facebook DM, maybe a Google My Business. I didn't even know Google My Business was a thing. And then, now that we have the system, if a Google My Business message comes in, you don't have to go to all these different places because it comes right there. And we can automate the response to it. If something comes in from your website, each one of these where you don't have automation and response set up and notifications, each one of those is a hole in your bucket. And, those are huge holes. It may only be like 5 or 6 items, but they're huge. And then if we do some like my boy Rob, shout out to my boy Rob, he's one of my coaches now. Again, invest in coaching. And I would drop another thing for Coach Stacy. So invest in coaching, right?
Invest in coaching, please.
I invested with Rob. Shout out to him. I met him through Billy's community too. That was like another 20 grand. I like spending money on coaching because it makes you better, right? But
always,
what he says too is like, those are huge holes. And if you don't fill those holes and we start doing napkin math, how much is one sale worth to you? Let's just say you do no marketing. You had 5 people come to your website. 3 of them gave their information and you took days to hit them back. How much is each one of those? Let's just say you were at 33% close rate, which means you got one. How much is that one sale worth to you? If it's, hopefully it's worth some money, but let's just say it's worth $300, $500. That's money gone just because you didn't follow it fast enough. And that's just for that set of 3, not to mention the other set of 3 and the more that'll come when I show you how to run some ads. And if you keep doing that, it's like, it's unseen. It's like an unseen hand. You don't know you're losing money. You don't know there's holes in the bucket, but once you see that you have holes in your bucket, you can't unsee it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
That whole leaving money on the table, it's real, but it's kind of cliche. So that's why I like the bucket thing. But once you see that you're doing that, you can't unsee it. And it's like, how long are you going to allow that to happen? Does it cost money to put systems in place, whether you deal with me or someone else? For sure. But when you spend that money to put those systems in place and they make you money, it's a no-brainer. Then turn on the faucet and get as many as you want. It's simple. For the most part, it is easy. Every now and then you run into a challenge with marketing, but from dealing with Billy and being in a community with guys, like I told you, like I got so many bags in my trick. If something doesn't work, I know what to do next. The numbers tell a story, and you read the story and make the adjustment. You don't change everything. I remember the first ad I ran before I got with Billy, I was trying to do affiliate marketing for those things that help you jump and dunk, and didn't work out. I didn't have a lot of money to spend, so I changed everything. And I was like, and then when I started learning, I was like, how stupid is that? How do you change everything and expect a different result when something could have been working? I didn't know how to read the story. So now you just read the story, change the one thing, and change one element of the story, test it again, test it again, test it again. Worst case, you change 2, but you can't overhaul the whole thing unless you really know what you're doing. And if you really knew what you were doing, you wouldn't have to overhaul the old thing. So
Exactly. So listen, if you guys, basically what he's saying, if you feel lost in any of those things, or you feel like you might have holes in your buckets, you better reach out to Jeraud. But Jeraud, I want to end with this. I want to end on, what is bulletproof mindset? And I threw that picture up. Is that your picture?
It looked like it could be. I've been known to sit in that position.
But so what is bulletproof mindset?
I actually happen to have someone now. So this is our second logo. This isn't the original logo, but essentially just kind of, even you guys already heard my story, a little bit of it in the beginning. it's just really, to me, bulletproof mindset just means the ability to overadapt and overcome. Doesn't mean you're doing everything right, but it just means you're not going to stop until you get where you're trying to go. Doesn't mean you won't take a step back. And I heard it from one of my favorite MMA fighters. I can't remember who, but yeah, I guess he's not my favorite anymore. But he had said this, and this would help me come up with it. It was like, my mindset is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock. And when he said that, I was like, bulletproof mindset. And then that was just it. And eventually I just started making some shirts, and I owe you a shirt. You definitely have a bulletproof mindset. So yeah, and it's just a brand I wear. And the thing I like about it too is, like, when I used to go to networking, when I first lost my job, I felt like I always had to wear a polo and some slacks and all this stuff. And I don't mind wearing that stuff, but I was wearing it because I thought that's what I had to wear in order to be accepted. And then on top of that, if I'm being honest, when I go out to networking, there's hardly any people that look like me. So I'm always an audience of people. And I'm fine. I can deal with anyone.
I'll feel you there.
Yeah, I can deal with anyone. Like, I like dealing with people from different cultures and different backgrounds, but usually it's like there's
usually,
yeah. So I felt like I had to blend in, and at a certain point, I realized I don't have to. And so when I wear my bulletproof mindset stuff and I go out, I mean, and eventually I want to stop wearing t-shirts. I mean, but at the same time, it's part of my brand right now. And when I go out and people like the shirt, those are my people. And even if we do business together, that's great. But even if not, the fact that that resonated with you lets me know where you're at. And those are the type of people I want to deal with. And it'll lead to what it'll lead to, because at the end of the day, everybody's not for everyone. So I'm really, especially when I'm out networking, I'm more into, obviously I want to make more money. Who doesn't? But I'm more into finding the people that I can relate with and that I can actually say, hey, I like this guy, like you. Like, you're one of the coolest people I've met since I got back. Because I didn't network in this area for like 3 years, because I looked at the money I was making, and 90% of it was other states and other countries. And I was just like, why am I networking around here? I'm going to focus on the, and it was just easier to make money other places. I get on the phone and close deals that I thought were pretty good. And then locally, it just felt like it was taking too long to get somewhere, and they wanted to just keep undercutting me. And maybe that's not a representation truly of the whole area, but that's what I was experiencing. But then talking to my coach, Miha, shout out to him. He helped me. He was one of the first people that helped me really get into systems, even more than Billy did. And he was like, man, I think you miss people. And I was like, really? Because I'm an introvert. I'm fine being by myself. He's like, no, you miss people. I think you should go out. And he's the one that pushed me to go out last year and start networking. And I went to the chamber, and I went to
good.
And I met you. So when I'm out, I'm not even looking for business. I'm just looking for people that I think that are actually genuinely cool people who aren't faking and playing around. And then if we can do something together, cool. And if not, then I just know there's another cool person around here that I really like, that I can hopefully send some business their way. Because I feel like the other challenge that I met with people where I live is there's so many great people, but they don't know how to market themselves. And so they're not getting what they truly deserve, and they're not able to serve their community. So that's part of my drive in helping people with their marketing, their systems, is because I know, again, like I met you, you're in BNI, and I met people in BNI, man, dope people. They're just not getting what they want because they don't know this, and then they're not willing to invest in this. So that's, but anyway, long story short, that's what bulletproof mindset is. It's just ability to overcome. And, again, regardless if I get help one way or another, I'm going to get where I'm going to go. It just might take me longer than I want. And I just feel like when I meet people, I like to hear their story. And I owe Lee a bulletproof mindset shirt. I've known his story for a while. Like, Lee is official. Like, he's battle tested, man. And even if you're not battle tested, it doesn't mean you don't have a bulletproof mindset, but hey, put yourself in a situation and put it to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go after it. I agree. Thank you for that, man. And so I want to end with this because you're talking mindset. You're talking about not everybody's for you. Mike Tyson had an amazing, and I think he was with Terry Crews at the time interviewing. So it was probably Mike Tyson's podcast or something. But he said, and Terry Crews was like, whoa, and it stopped me the same. Like I felt like Terry Crews's reaction was exactly what I felt inwardly. But he said, if you're a friend to everyone, you're an enemy to yourself. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, yes, that is so true. And so, like, people pleasers, anybody who's a people pleaser, please, let me say that again. If you're a friend to everyone, you're an enemy to yourself. That is so true. There are just certain people that aren't for you, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And
it's
and so to and so to your point, like that, I went to growing up in sales my whole life. I was that, and I hated everything that I was trying to be because the top salespeople were the slicked back, the kind of dressed nice, the nice expensive suits, all this stuff. And so I thought that's what I had to be. And you've met me. This is what I wear pretty much all the time. And it's not really to make a point. Like, and I don't think that Gary Vee or even I know Zuckerberg does the same thing and a few other people. But like, it's just I don't care. Like, I just really don't care about those things. And so, but yeah, find your people. Where I'm getting at with that, and to anybody watching this, is find your people. They're out there. Like, good people will find good people. Like, I promise
yeah,
you that. And so, like, that's with BNI. Like, I was kind of stuck in that same position. That's what led me to my journey to ending up here in Virginia Beach, and all of that was going back to BNI. Okay, I need people. I need like-minded people to surround myself with. I needed those people. So thank you for sharing that, and even going into that. And
yeah.
for
I would say
the
this
kind
too.
the
You
kind
don't.
words, dude.
It doesn't have to be expected, but if you see me out one day and I show up in a suit, like, I do like dressing nice, and at the same time, if it's expected, then I'm like, I'm gonna do the other thing, and I want to only talk to people that want to talk to me. If you turn your nose up because of whatever reason, then eventually you're gonna do that in our relationship, and I just don't want to
Mm,
I don't want to take money from anyone. Like, there's too many other people that I could help and get paid for my services and feel like a fair trade for people that have like mine. So don't be afraid to be polarizing. And I think I had to learn that too, because I feel like I'm more polarizing than I think. And then I do my best not to put it out there. But yeah, you don't have to like everyone. And I'm fine saying that. And I probably, but you don't have to
eh,
dislike people either. And
absolutely. No, no. Just listen. Shake hands. Respect. I respect your opinions, but
yeah,
you just keep your circle tight. Keep your circle tight.
yeah,
That's what
respect.
I,
Just show respect. And even if people just, I don't know. That's a whole nother tangent. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, we won't even go there. Maybe that's for another show. But dude, thank you so much for this. Again, want you to get back I want to respect your time and your family's time. So I want you to get back to your daughter and your kids and your family. But let everybody know, where can they reach you, where can they find you, how to connect with you if they do want to. Besides, if they didn't text the phone number.
oh yeah, for sure. So I would say, in all honesty, LinkedIn is pretty cool. I'm fairly active on LinkedIn. It's weird. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. It's like that's how I make money, but as a person, I'd rather deal with you in person than to do the posting. So I'm working on it. But LinkedIn, I'm fairly active. Um, Facebook, I'll post every here and there. My Instagram, I'll post here and there. So LinkedIn's probably the best. If you want to see me on Instagram, I'll post more family stuff. That's Jeraud, Jeraud_Gave. And, maybe I'll start posting here again, but I'm pretty sure I'll disappear again. So if you
For
just want
sure.
to deal with someone who's real, I mean, you're dealing with DJ. I feel like I'm on the same wavelength. Just hit me up on LinkedIn, and we can have a conversation. Don't have to be about marketing. The fact that people appreciate me, I appreciate being appreciated. So if something struck a nerve with you and you want to reach out, cool. And if not, I just wish you the best. And nothing's ever too hard. As long as you're here and you're living, you always have a chance. Bulletproof mindset. Stay strong. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Mm.
And that's pretty much it.
That's right. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready, y'all. Well, Jeraud, dude, thank you again. Coach, we obviously missed you. If you did, anybody who is joining us, if you joined us late or if you're watching this on the replay, please like and subscribe and share with a friend or somebody, if you know a business owner who might be struggling and they're not sharing that they're struggling. Business owners enjoy doing that. I promise you.
One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I would say also, like, again, it doesn't have to be me. That's one thing I pride myself on, is I've been in a community of people. And again, shout out to Billy again, but that
Yeah.
community of people, I know so many people who are good at marketing, including you, DJ. So my thing is always about, hey, if I'm just a messenger to get you to understand that you need to do more and you don't want to work with me for whatever reason, that's fine. Just get help. Get help or learn it yourself. But if you keep staying in the same situation and trying to unsee things that you shouldn't be unseeing, then you're not going to get where you want. And I think for the most part, most of us are in business to take care of ourselves and our family. And when you're not performing at your best, it's already hard not to beat yourself up. But then when you're exposed to new information that you need, that's so basic that most people don't share, and you don't fix it, then it's almost like, are you self-sabotaging yourself? So again, it doesn't have to be me, but either learn it or get help from someone. And if you liked what I was talking about and want to work with someone else, feel free to reach out and I'll connect you. Like, I don't connect people with other people easily. So if I connect you with someone, I really do trust them. And I know a lot of other people who can do a great job for you and may even do a better job. If that's the case, I don't mind pushing you on either. It ain't about me, it's about you. And that's how you give good faith and keep the value, is introducing people into new things, even if that means the money doesn't ever touch your pocket. That's the furthest from my worries. I just want you to be straight, because if I put you on and you're good, then hey, you'll say something good about me, which is great. But even more importantly, I know I helped someone and I didn't expect anything in return. So.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, it is a cycle, kind of like Tom talked about. Everything is a cycle, and that's usually where you get is not who you give to, where you get your help from. So just keep giving help, and it always has a way of coming back. So yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I love the message. Thank you again, man. This was awesome, guys. Please reach out to Jeraud, like he said. If you feel like you're struggling, if you know a business owner who is struggling, reach out to us here at the show. Reach out to Jeraud, me or Coach. Again, if we could just kind of direct you, maybe there's something you're just missing or not thinking of. We love to have the chat. We love to just kind of, again, if you're following us, if you're listening to this, we connect on some way. So please, don't reach out. And I want to give a plug. So Thursday's usually our recap of the show, Jeraud. Actually, this Thursday is a special show. So we have actually a special Cameron's month. I actually had Nicole over at ATAX reach out, and she said, "Hey, dude, DJ, would you do a special show for Cameron?" He told me what it was about, and I'm like, yes, I would love to. So again, if you know of anybody who lost someone, next month does start Cameron's month, where ATAX does do, and we'll share that on Thursday. But Jeraud, seriously, thank you so much. This was fun, dude. We'll have to have you back on when Coach is on. So
I would say this. I mean, DJ don't be out here selling anything, but if he sells something, buy it. I'll tell you that. Because
I got nothing to sell.
From the heart. Everything's from the heart. You're all about taking care of other people. So if he comes to the market with something, which I'm gonna hopefully help you with that. Hey, man, like support him, man. Like just the messages that he puts on LinkedIn, the time and energy it takes to find that stuff and put it all together. And then for him to be the same guy when you meet him in person, like you don't run into a lot of people like that. So make sure you support DJ, not just by your viewership, tell people about him and whatever he's into. Just know 100% that he's given it his all. And his goal is to make sure that you get what you pay for. So just support him, man. Like, again, I don't say that about everyone. But
thank you so much for that, dude. Seriously, thank you. That means the world, especially from somebody like you, because you, dude, I appreciate your friendship. Obviously, I tell you that all the time. So again, thank you for coming on, dude. Thank you for obviously all the help with all the clients we're working with and helping. This was so much fun. I can't wait to have you back on with Coach. We'll obviously have to have you on with.
With Coach. Man. Coach is the man, dude. Too. Like, Coach. Like I said, the universe keeps aligning me with great people like yourselves, and honestly, having people like you in my life and some of the other people I've met from the community, it's about more than money. It's about way more than money. It's about having great people around you, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and I appreciate. I'm grateful, and the vision is to keep adding more people like that to our circle. So,
come join our community, y'all. Until Thursday, keep feeding the good wolf.
Peace.
I'm always on the red eye. This time around, it's not even about getting paid. I'm just an